I peaked at 8.5k MMR, rank 500. And here's Mr. Quinn Callahan to introduce my magnum opus in Dota.
I honestly feel Dota in some ways is more of a solo game than a team game in these days, in the way that like your individual gameplay matters so much and you really can't be caught up into thinking about other people's stuff, which I think goes back to the believing in people thing. Like you need to trust that other people will do their part and not worry about it. It's not for you individually. It's not a team game. Don't worry about it. Play your game, lane well, make the right moves, buy the right items. Think about your game, be precise and elegant and I don't know, and just pristine in your gameplay and trust that others will do the same.
Dota is a solo game about maximizing your impact. If I was in your lobbies on any role and any hero, I would have an 80+% win rate because I am able to have more impact in the game than you. And that is why I am higher MMR. And that's enough to win all the way up the ladder. You can't control anything else, what your team is doing. And when you just completely eliminate dumping energy into variables that you can't control, you optimize the ones you can, which is your play. And so you play better. So that's the core message of this video. To just completely let go of what you cannot control and tunnel vision, giga lock in on what you can, which is your gameplay. Because if you are distracted by others' play and worrying about your team, what they're doing, you are playing at a fraction of your potential. This is the 1v9 mindset that you need. In my experience, this is non-negotiable to climb. I call it demon mode. Don't expect anything from your teammates. Expectations will only lead to frustration and directing energy at variables that you cannot control. So here are the pillars of demon mode. This is how you maximize your impact. So how do we 1v9 every game? The first thing that I'm gonna say, because it's the most impactful thing on this list, is to mute early and often. This is counterintuitive. The core issue is that not muting people opens the door to focus on things that you should not be focusing on, like teammates flaming each other or bad calls. There are too many important things that you need to be focusing on already, like farming patterns, tracking enemy map movements, that you cannot afford to focus on shit that doesn't matter. And if you don't mute people, it is human nature to not be able to help yourself and get sucked into what your team is saying, which again removes your mental RAM from what actually matters. For me, again, this was the single most impactful change on this list. It's also symbolic, right? Like me muting people early and often just reminds myself that I have to 1v9 and maximize my impact in the game, because it can be really easy to fall out of this mentality. And I'm not saying mute everybody or play with all chat off. All I'm saying is mute early and often at the first sign of non-productive communication. Oh, but I need to hear what my teammates are saying to synergize. No, you don't need to hear what Archon Joe is saying. I promise you. In fact, Archon Joe will flame you for playing correctly and not diving T2s with him. Statistically, guys, your teammates are at this MMR for a reason. They make the same calls that will keep them there. And if you want to climb out, you need to rise above those calls and not follow them. Even if your teammate is having a good game, anyone can look good if they're having one good game. It doesn't mean they're a good player and that you should listen to them. Do you guys know how rare it is to actually climb? I will look back at a game that I played 5 years ago in Divine, and it shows like the current ranks today, right? And in that lobby, there will still be like 8 Divines, right? And then me, rank 500, and then maybe 1 unranked immortal. Climbing is hard. Your teammates make the calls that keep them hard stuck. Think for yourself. You don't need to hear what they're saying. The other thing about voice chat is that your Dota body language speaks, right? Like how people are positioning in the game says a lot. And also Dota has the best ping and chat wheel system that I've ever seen to communicate the most important things. Also, bonus tip here is to use voice chat as minimally as you can. And this is probably the most personal thing, like it just depends on you. But for me, whenever I open the mic a lot, I always play worse. And I think this is because I'm not focusing on myself as much and I'm focusing on like what the team as a whole should do and like making calls that take away from my gameplay. Second pillar of demon mode. The cardinal sin in Dota is to die in the game. And for whatever reason, it's normalized. Stop dying. And this is as simple as just playing safer, because dying prevents you from scaling. And on any role, you're going to need to scale into the late game to have impact. It really is this simple, guys. I promise you, die less equals win more on any role. I'll see the scoreboard on a random 4K pub, and in a 40-minute game, everybody in the lobby has over 10 deaths. It is disgusting. And if you're the one player in that lobby who has 2 to 3 deaths, that alone will make a difference. Hashtag stop normalizing deaths. For many players, it really is as simple as telling yourself, I'm gonna die less, and just value your life more. Third pillar of demon mode, limit your hero pool. Pick one role, pick 3 heroes, and dive deep into those heroes. Study them, watch replays, and only play those 3 heroes. I know this can get boring, but it works. And the reason why is because Dota, as a game, the macro game of Dota is deep as hell. And when you're comfortable on the hero you're playing, you'll have the necessary mental space to think about the macro concepts in Dota that matter, right? State of the map, pushing waves, what hero you need to kill in a team fight, etc. And you need to be giga comfortable, more than comfortable. You need to be cozy on the spell casting, the item build, the skill build to free up the mental space for this. And ironically, this makes you a better Dota player as a whole in the macro sense, because that's how you learn the macro of Dota. And then when you play another hero, you'll be more comfortable with the macro because you learned it through deep diving. Crazy stuff, guys, crazy stuff. Also, the more meta heroes you pick to include in this pool of 3, the better. It helps, but it's not necessary. Because 1, they're just inherently stronger, right? And you'll have an easier time winning on them. And 2, you'll know how to play against them well, because the best way to learn how to play against the hero is to just feel the weaknesses for yourself. And that will lead to you winning more games because the enemy will be picking the meta heroes because they're meta. So playing meta heroes is really a 2-for-1 special to increase your win rate. And what I do to keep it fresh is I rotate this pool every patch, every letter patch, but I keep it focused again. Diving into a new hero like this very deeply is super fun and very rewarding. 4th pillar, for the heroes in your pool, watch pro replays and copy them. Learn the strengths of the hero, play to those strengths. Learn the weaknesses of the hero. Avoid situations where their weaknesses are exposed. Watch how they cast their spells, how they fight, what they do. Maybe you watch an Ursa replay and you see that they very often will blink in, kill somebody, and then kite out with their ulti and wait for their next blink until they go in again. Now you know how to fight on Ursa. Congratulations. And you don't need anyone else to tell you. You can get the info for yourself this way. And most times when you get the info for yourself like this, it's going to be better than what you hear online. Those are the major pillars. It's also really important to not play when you're just win chasing, because maximizing your impact is a very different game from like winning every single game. Ask yourself if you actually want to play Dota or if you're just win chasing. Do you want the feeling of a win instead of the feeling of being in the Dota engine playing your best? If it's the former, you will play worse and have a terrible time. I also strongly recommend doing a CS trainer to warm up just for 5 minutes before you queue, even if you're a support. This just locks me in and also makes you a lot better over time. I also think the biggest thing that I've learned from Dota, and this came to me recently, is that every game is a win when the goal is experience. And the goal should be to gain experience. Your goal should not be to control the outcome of this one Dota game that you're playing right now. Your goal should be to maximize your impact and become the best player you can be. And you can learn something from every game. Ironically, this will lead you to more wins when you're not attached to the idea of winning. It's a journey, guys. Enjoy it, learn, play your best Dota every game. Dota is a beautiful, beautiful game, perhaps the most beautiful game when you aren't mentally imploding if you don't win. Part of the beauty of Dota as well is that a lot of this stuff really applies to life. Probably not muting early and often. You can't really, I would not recommend muting people in real life, but a lot of the other stuff does. And I think that's really cool. And Dota, you know, has taught me so many insightful things about also winning in real life. If this video resonates with you, you can join my Discord. We have a community of people who think like this, and it's very good like accountability. You can also follow me on Twitter if you're a Twitter frog. I post a lot on Twitter, actually. And if you learned something and or enjoyed this video, like, comment, and or subscribe. Every single like, every single comment, every single subscriber goes a very long way toward my future.